Ladies, gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Please rise and join me in welcoming the arrival of our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Datuk Technologist Dr. Sharifuddin Majrani, accompanied by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic and International, Professor Datuk Dr. Nik Salida Suhaila Nik Saleh, and distinguished guests. Ladies, gentlemen, please stand as our distinguished guests make their way into the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly remain standing for the singing of the national anthem Negaraku, followed by the Negeri Sembilan state anthem and the USIM anthem USIM Terus Maju.
Menjadi universiti termaju, masa keras kegiatan penyelidikannya untuk dunia, terus progresif membina insan, berdisiplin mengamal nilai mulia. Pada ibunda
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Honorable Professor Datuk Technologist Dr. Sharifuddin Masyarani, Vice Chancellor, University Science Islam Malaysia. Honorable Professor Datuk Dr. Nik Salida Suhaila Nik Saleh, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic and International, University Science Islam Malaysia. Honorable Professor Dr. Azlan Abdul Aziz, Chairman, Council of Deans of Graduate Studies. Honorable Professor Dr. Nur Fazila Zulkifli, Director, the Centre of Academic Management, University Science Islam Malaysia. Deans, Directors, Deputy Deans, Deputy Directors and Head of Departments, Professors, Associate Professors, Supervisors and Lecturers, and Graduate USIMs of University Science Islam Malaysia. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the 3-minute Thesis Competition 2026. On behalf of the organizing committee, thank you for joining us today to celebrate research, innovation, and the art of communicating complex ideas in a simple and engaging manner. The 3-minute thesis competition challenges researchers to present their research clearly and convincingly in just 3 minutes using only one static presentation slide. Today, we will witness not only the excellent research, but also outstanding communication skills. This competition was conducted in a hybrid format and comprises of 2 stages, the preliminary round and the final round. A total of 68 participants competed in the preliminary round. From this pool, only 10 finalists were selected to advance and compete in today's final round. Ladies and gentlemen, to seek Allah's blessing and guidance for today's event, we shall now begin with the recitation of dua. It is my pleasure to invite Mr. Ashraf to lead us in the dua recital. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ashraf.
Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين يا الله يا كريم يا ودود. Sesungguhnya kami berhimpun pada hari yang penuh bermakna ini bagi menjayakan pertandingan 3-minute thesis peringkat kebangsaan. Kami menzahirkan setinggi-tinggi kesyukuran atas segala nikmat, rahmat dan kurniaan-Mu yang tidak terhingga. Jadikanlah kami dalam kalangan hamba-hamba-Mu yang sentiasa bersyukur serta memanfaatkan segala nikmat ke arah kebaikan. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Limpahkanlah rahmat dan keberkatan-Mu ke atas majlis ini. Permudahkanlah segala urusan penganjuran, pelaksanaan dan perjalanan program ini dari awal hingga ke penghujungnya. Kurniakanlah kepada semua peserta ketenangan jiwa, kelapangan dada, kefasihan dalam penyampaian, kejernihan fikiran serta keyakinan dalam menyampaikan hasil penyelidikan mereka dengan sebaiknya. Anugerahkanlah juga kepada para hakim kebijaksanaan, keadilan, ketelitian dan keikhlasan dalam membuat penilaian. Satukanlah hati seluruh setia, para jemputan dan semua yang hadir agar majlis ini berlangsung dalam suasana harmoni, penuh hikmah dan mendapat keredaan-Mu. Ya Dzal Jalali wal Ikram. Jadikanlah pertandingan ini sebagai wadah untuk menyemarakkan budaya penyelidikan, memperkasa ilmu pengetahuan serta melahirkan para sarjana yang berilmu, berintegriti, berakhlak mulia dan mampu menyumbang kepada agama, masyarakat dan negara. Kurniakanlah kepada kami kesihatan yang baik, kekuatan fizikal, kecerdasan akal, ketenangan hati serta semangat untuk terus menuntut, mengembangkan dan menyebarkan ilmu yang bermanfaat. Rabbana atina min ladunka rahmah وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Ameen, Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Mr. Ashraf, for the meaningful dua. May today's program be blessed with success, beneficial knowledge, and a spirit of excellence for everyone present. To officially commence today's program, it is my pleasure to invite our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Datuk Technologist Dr. Sharifuddin Masharani, to deliver the opening remarks. Professor, please welcome to the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam integrasi ilmu nakli dan nakli, salam Malaysia Madani. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Nik Salih Suhailan Nik Saleh, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International. Yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Azlan Abdul Aziz, Chairman Council of Deans of Graduate Studies. Yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Nur Fazilah Zulkifli, Director, the Center for Academic Management, Honorable Juries of the Competition, Deans, Directors, Deputy Directors, Heads of Departments, Professors, Associate Professors, Supervisors, Lecturers, and of course the graduate students who are participating this morning. Alhamdulillah, syukur kehadrat Allah SWT dengan limpah kurnia kita dapat bersama pada pagi ini. Selawat dan salam ke atas junjungan besar Nabi Muhammad SAW, keluarga dan juga para sahabat. Alhamdulillah. Let me speak in bahasa Melayu for a while, then I will change this speech into English. Saya mengalu-alukan kehadiran semua ke Universiti Sains Islam Malaysia, Kampus Barakah. Kepada yang pertama kali datang ke kampus kami, this is our campus, Kampus Barakah. Mungkin tidak sebesar Universiti Sains Malaysia, USM, but again, Alhamdulillah, this is the full-fledged university dinilai. Kampus ini ataupun Universiti Sains Islam Malaysia ataupun USIM, kita adalah universiti komprehensif. Dan kita ada 9 fakulti, kita ada lebih daripada 90 program akademik, dan kita sekarang ni mungkin tak sebesar USM, Prof, but again our students population is around 14,000 lebih kurang. Kami, kalau kita katakan universiti yang paling dekat dengan Putrajaya dan universiti yang paling dekat dengan KLIA, so kalau you land dekat KLIA, kamilah universiti yang paling dekat. Jadi jenguk-jenguklah kami dan datanglah, buatlah universiti ini sebagai rumah kedua anda. Right. For the benefit of the rest, let me deliver my speech in English. Right. This is my great pleasure to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the organizing committee of this year's National 3-Minute Thesis competition, led by the Honorable Director of the Center of Academic Management, Professor Dr. Nur Fazilah Zulkifli, and her team for their dedication and commitment in making this event a success. My sincere appreciation also goes to all the faculties, members, centers, department staff, supervisors, and volunteers who our collective efforts have made this prestigious event possible. And also my heartfelt congratulations and thank you to USM as our co-host. Thank you, Professor, and also USM. Actually, USM and USM, I think we are like, the big, of course, USM is the big brother. We are the, not to say the small brother, but we are the brothers, because our name is always, sometimes they pronounce USM, they pronounce university, they say that University Science USM, but when they pronounce full, they say University Science Malaysia. They forgot to say the I word. But again, for the students in front of me, and I think, congratulations, you have come this far. As some of you are doing your PhDs, any one of you doing their masters? No, but most of you are doing your PhDs, right? So, to the students who are doing your PhDs, PhD is a journey. You are not solving the world problem. You are just doing, a 3-year or 3.5 years problem statement. So there are bound to be times where I use the word, when I did my PhD, I used the word in Bahasa Melayu, I call it langgar dinding. What it means by langgar dinding is that, you have a result but you do not know how to interpret. It could be a good sign, it can be also not so good sign. The good sign is that you are the frontier of the knowledge. PhD is about what is your contribution towards the boundary of knowledge. That is the gold standard that you have to answer yourself. If you can answer, to that question, inshallah, you're almost there. But if you can answer that simple but difficult question, then slightly to be worried. So always, during my time as an external or internal examiner, I will always ask. In fact, in my own viva, the examiner asks, what is your contribution towards the boundary of knowledge? So when you langgar dinding, can I literally translate hit the wall? It sounds slightly silly, but again, langgar dinding is better to hear. It's about, you have a set of data, but again, when you look around in the literature, that's a bit difficult to interpret because you are the first person in the whole wide world to be there. It is scary. I've been there. I have set of data, but I do not know how to interpret. Then I went to my supervisor, and I was quite, I think those days, slightly upset, And then I told my supervisor, I said, of course, in Cambridge, we don't call professors whatnot. You call it the name. So my late supervisor said, Laurie, I said, I have a set of data, but I do not know how to interpret. And I was in my third year of my PhD. And he looked at my data and said, hey, this is a good data. Why do you say that this is not a good data? Then he told me what to do with the data and then go back to do the experiment. And alhamdulillah, I got a good result, and and the rest is history. So for those students who are here, you have worked hard to be, to do your PhDs, to do your experiments, or in your own field. Be motivated. Supervisors are there to help, but sometimes supervisors are there not just to help, but to give you the motivation. So the lecturers are in front of me. We should give more motivations to the PhD students, and the PhD students or the postgraduate students. You must always be, motivated, high spirit, and never ever let failure to define who you are and where you are. So and being here to tell your journey within 3 minutes is quite a daunting and quite difficult task. And I admire your effort. But again, this is sort of, if you can, if you can visualize it as your pre-viva, just to tell to the world what are you doing, your problem statement, and whatnot. Of course, your supervisor has told you what to do within these 3 minutes. But again, it should be beyond a competition. It should be sort of like a training to your viva, if I can use it. So, my days we don't have, but back in Cambridge we always have, every Thursday we have a lab seminar. Every PhD student has to present approximately about half an hour what they are doing with their. So we had that kind of training to be able to articulate and to tell people what we are doing and to answer questions. So, this 3 minutes competition, don't look at just a competition, but you should be able to explain what you have done with your work, your analysis, and whatnot. So good luck to everyone. I'm sure you are doing your best, and to the supervisors, thank you for your invaluable mentorship. I'm sure you have done really good. Being a supervisor is not easy. Your PhD students always, they send today and they want it yesterday, that kind of stuff. But again, that's the journey. We've all of us has gone through this PhD journey. So PhD is Actually, I don't like to call this cliche about permanent head damage. I mean, please, let's forget about that. Let's put to bed that word, because I don't like to hear about, doing a PhD, then your head is being damaged. I think what PhD has done is that it creates a human being that have a set of skills to think. To think, skills to think is very important. We want to produce a human being able to think systematically. That is what PhD is about. Solving a problem is the technical thing that you are going to do, but the thinking skills, thinking systematically of a problem, that is something very, very invaluable experience that you have to learn. And that is why when somebody got a PhD, people look up to this set of people. Right. So last but not least, I think, I wish all participants every success. May you treasure this experience as one of your defining milestones in your life and also in your postgraduate journey. And may your research continue to benefit society long after this competition has concluded. Another one small note about your research project. Perhaps some of you might endeavor as a researcher or as a lecturer, or within those areas. Yes, you can take your PhD as a stepping stone to continue your research, which is really nice to do. But again, I'm just sharing my own experience. My PhD is something about magnetic resonance imaging. Until now, I've graduated, I think, more than 30 years. My knowledge, until now, within Southeast Asia, it has not yet been utilized. So sometimes when you do in technology, things like that can happen. I haven't touched my instrument, MRI, for more than 30 years. So it is, to me, something not nice to do. But again, I hope that it will not happen to you. To the PhD students, you should endeavor your skills and whatever you have done in your PhD to continue. Right. So with that, dengan lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, it's my honor and privilege to officially declare the 2026 3 minutes thesis 3MT national level competition open. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor, for the inspiring words. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to all the universities that participated in the 3 Minutes Thesis Competition 2026. Your enthusiasm, commitment, and continuous support have played a significant role in making this event a success. We are truly grateful for your confidence in this competition and for providing your talented postgraduate students with the opportunity to showcase their research and communication skills on this prestigious platform. To all participating universities, thank you for your invaluable contributions and for being part of this remarkable journey. We sincerely hope that today's experience has fostered new collaborations, inspired future innovations, and strengthened the spirit of academic excellence among our institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call the photographer to take a photograph with our MC. Ladies and gentlemen, could you shift a little bit into the middle of the hall for the photograph session?
tengok juru kamera kita. Musim. Okay, bebas musim. Okay, betul musim. Betul ni. Ni macam ni. Okey, gaya apa lagi? Okey. 3 nanti macam mana? 3. Okey. Macam ni ni. Jadi perlu tu. Jangan macam ni. Jangan tuk muka Ni tak mewakili mana parti Terima kasih.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? Our Vice Chancellor, Professor Datuk Technologist Dr. Sharifuddin Masyarani, will now be taking his leave from the ceremony. On behalf of the organising committee, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to the Vice Chancellor for gracing today's event with his presence and for his continuous support and encouragement. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly rise as we bid farewell to our Vice Chancellor. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Attention to all judges. May we kindly invite all judges to proceed to the holding room for the judges' briefing session, which will be conducted by the Chief Judge. We appreciate your cooperation. Thank you. As for the participants, the first round will start in another 10 minutes.
The Prophet Muhammad. The first Quranic revelation to the Prophet Muhammad, Iqra, which means to recite or to read, exalts the excellence of knowledge. At University Science Islam Malaysia, USIM, we offer a holistic education that integrates Nakli and Akli knowledge, nurturing a noble generation and a knowledgeable society. Emerged as the first Islamic university established by the Malaysian government, USIM aspires to create a generation of proficient scholars in contemporary fields of specialization. Since its inception in 1998, it has reintroduced students from Islamic secondary schools into the national education system, giving them a chance to pursue a variety of professional studies while retaining their Islamic heritage as a foundation for their education. From the religious studies, via its various sources, Quran, Sunnah, and primary Turath texts, we gain the knowledge of God. On that basis, other disciplines are introduced. Our 9 academic faculties offer courses methodically designed to illuminate the integrated experience. Accredited and recognized by professional bodies, the curriculum also emphasizes mastery of the Arabic and English language, further preparing them for a life of service to the global community. The academic and research foundations at USIM, with a particular emphasis on diversity and inclusivity, health and social well-being, sustainability, cybersecurity and digital well-being, and knowledge for change, serve as the cornerstone for the curricular pillars. These studies and research programs, which are locally based but are of global significance, benefit communities from all social strata. The campus is purposefully designed to be user-friendly, including for the elderly and individuals with impairments, and it encourages a spiritual approach among its members. USIM's strategic location in Julai, home to several educational and research institutions, promotes rewarding engagement with the educational communities. Bustling with various leisure and entertainment options, Julai is located near Malaysia's administrative capital Putrajaya, the region's tech hub Cyberjaya, and Kuala Lumpur, the busy capital and economic heart of Malaysia. Major highways and convenient public transportation systems, including commuter lines, provide excellent access to the university. Being adjacent to Kuala Lumpur International Airport, USIM is the only Malaysian university situated nearby airports, making it hypothetically the closest university to home. The curriculum and co-curriculum at USIM, built on the firm foundation of Nakli and Akli knowledge, accentuates students' true potential to participate in sports and academics, management and leadership, entrepreneurship, innovation, and culture. They open up various opportunities for interaction among cultures, understanding of different backgrounds, and the spirit of belonging and togetherness among members of the community. Offering an innovative, integrated learning experience, we aspire to cultivate a knowledgeable, disciplined, and devout generation that is able to contribute to the betterment of the Ummah and humanity.
Every journey begins with a step. For thousands of students each year, that step begins here at University Science Malaysia, a place where curiosity meets opportunity. As a new student enters the campus for the first time, the air is filled with wonder, dreams, and a touch of uncertainty. But above all, there's hope. Isn't just one campus. It's a constellation of brilliance. From the historic main campus on the island of Penang, to the cutting-edge engineering campus in Nibong Tebal, to the compassionate health campus in Kelantan, every corner of USM echoes with innovation, learning, and life. The story of USM began in 1969. Born as University Pulau Pinang, the second university established in Malaysia. Amid a growing nation's hunger for knowledge, this institution was founded with a bold vision to make education accessible, impactful, and inclusive. By 1971, the university relocated to its permanent home in Minden, Penang, on a former British military base, reimagined as a place of learning and discovery. Over the years, USM broke new ground in research, innovation, and community engagement. In 2008, USM was entrusted with the transformative role as the only university chosen to lead the APEX program. This accelerated program for excellence isn't merely about speed, it's about direction. It's about reshaping higher education to be more inclusive, sustainable, and globally impactful. Over 45,000 postgraduate and 171,000 undergraduate students have graduated from USM. With 27 academic schools, USM is a garden of knowledge where sciences blend with humanities and innovation meets wisdom. Every student finds their path, every idea finds its voice. In these halls, knowledge is not just thought, it's experienced. The classroom becomes a space of dialogue, of curiosity, of growth. USM houses 21 research centers, each tackling real-world problems through innovative thinking. From health sciences to artificial intelligence, our researchers do more than discover. They solve, they build, they transform. USM is home to students from all over the globe. Here, ideas travel beyond borders, shaping minds that are truly global. With collaborations across 69 countries, USM is a global connector linking knowledge, talent, and innovation. A holistic education needs a holistic environment. The USM's campus is alive with facilities that support the body, mind, and soul. From libraries to stadiums, from hospitals to hostels, from studios to innovation labs. Life at USM is rich and vibrant. Here, diversity becomes unity. Through shared meals, group projects, clubs, and causes, students don't just learn, they belong. They find family, purpose, and passion. This is the moment. Graduation cap and gown, applause, and tears. It's more than graduation. It's transformation. The nervous first step becomes a proud stride across the stage, and a student becomes a change maker. At USM, we do more than educate. We ignite, we nurture, we elevate. The journey may begin here, but its impact echoes across the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, respectful judges, participants, and almost to forgot. Okay, the viewers joining us via USIM Live TV, a very warm welcome to the 3-minute thesis competition 2026. We are delighted to have you here with us today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our finalists' take on the challenge of presenting years of research in just 3 minutes, demonstrating the great ideas can be communicated with clarity, passion, and impact. Before we begin, allow me to briefly explain today's competition. Each contestant will have a maximum of 3 minutes to present their research. Each presenter may only use one static PowerPoint slide. No animations, videos, audios, or props are permitted. A timekeeper will monitor each presentation. Participants exceeding the 3-minute limit will be disqualified in accordance with the official competition rules. Our judges will evaluate each presentation based on communication and audience engagement, clarity of research, and significance and impact of the study. We wish all participants the very best. Not to forget, ladies and gentlemen, please be reminded that we have a special award category, namely the People's Choice Award. Do vote using the QR code and link provided. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now begin the competition. We'll begin with the Science, Engineering and Technology category. Our first presenter is Muhammad Zulkarnain bin Muhammad Adzali from UNISA. A round of applause.
When I talk about turtles, you will imagine sea turtles swimming across the ocean. Am I right? But today, I'm talking about the painted terrapin, the most beautiful freshwater turtle, but critically endangered. Every year, mother painted terrapin will make an extraordinary journey from the river to the beach to lay their eggs for the next generation. But sadly, every year, less and less of them returns. This is not just a decline. This is a race against extinction. So now, here's the hard truth. We are trying to save this species, but we don't fully understand it. We don't know its true genetic health. We don't fully understand what they eat in the wild. We don't even know where their best suitable habitats are anymore. But perhaps, most surprisingly, we cannot even tell whether a young painted terrapin is male or female. So imagine this. Try to run a conservation breeding program without knowing the gender of your animals. That's like you're trying to build a future blindfolded. So my research asked a very simple yet critical question. How do we save this species if we don't understand it? To answer this, I turned to something invisible, but incredibly powerful, DNA. Using advanced DNA NGS sequencing, I uncover the hidden biological information from inside the terrapin. I identify the genetic markers that can tell us with precision whether a terrapin is male or female, even at a very young age. And suddenly, conservation becomes smarter, more targeted, more effective. But survival isn't just about reproduction. It's also about the health and the habitat. So I analyze what terrapins eat, not by observing them, but by studying their DNA from their fecal samples. This actually reveals the true diet in the wild, because even the tiniest microscopic community from inside the gut can affect the health and survival rate. But then I zoom out, because even the healthiest of terrapin cannot survive in the wrong place. So using GIS, I analyze, I predict and map the best suitable habitat based on climate, rivers, and human activity. That is why we need to know the area, because now, instead of guessing where to conserve, now we know where it matters the most. So that's what my research does. I connect DNA, ecology, geography into one unified strategy to save this species. This is because extinction is not always sudden. Sometimes it happens quietly, gradually, until one day there is nothing left to save. But thankfully, we're not there yet. And that means we still have a choice. Because this is no longer just the terrapin's race, it is our race too. And if you can truly understand them, we may still be fast enough to win this race. Thank you so much.
Judges may ask questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Extraordinary presentation.
Wow.
Can you actually explain to us, out of many species near extinction, why do you choose a sea turtle?
Wow, I like this question. Actually, in Setiu, Terengganu, this painted terrapin is actually the most, the jewel of Terengganu, they say. Because in the world, there's only two places, Terengganu and South America. And in Terengganu, this is the keystone species, the identifier. If we want to know the river is healthy or not, we need to find the keystone species. So terrapin is the keystone species. If we want to know the river is healthy or not, we cannot take the river to see the doctor, right? So we can see whether the index species is okay or not. That's why I chose the terrapin. Look at them. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Excellent. Thank you for helping us to understand and
Yeah.
further appreciate the work that you have been doing.
No, true.
Nice.
Oh, I will encourage everyone to help me save the terrapin also. Okay.
Any other additional questions from the judges?
Or question for the public. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you. Thank you to the first participant, Muhammad Zulkarnain bin Muhammad Adli.
Thank you.
Don't forget the QR code if you believe that he is the presenter for the Best People Choice Award. Interesting fact. Okay, the painted terrapin is famous for taking its time. Unfortunately, our presenter only have 3 minutes, not 3 hours today. Now, let's move on to our second participant. Our second participant Ladies and gentlemen, let's commence with the competition again. So we'll call upon the second participant, Muhammad Amirul bin Adli from UITM. Ouch! I just cut my finger. It stings. you are in my situation, what will you do? You clean it, apply some ointment, and surround the bandage. Simple enough, isn't it? But not for people with diabetes. For them, even a small cut can become something far more serious. Did you know that diabetic patients often suffer from diabetic wounds, a chronic, slow healing wounds that are highly prone to infection? Without proper treatment, these wounds can lead to one devastating outcome: amputation. I'm sure many of us here know someone who has gone through this. So I asked myself, what can we do to prevent this? So I looked to nature, and then I found a solution. Hidden within the busy world of stainless steel, or you might know them as lebah kelulut, is the sticky, dark substance that make up the stainless steel pipe. It fights bacteria, reduces inflammation, and helps our body repair wounds. Ladies and gentlemen, why isn't it widely used in healing wounds? But the answer lies within its limitation. Propolis is poorly soluble in water. It is simply too big to be applied to open. So in my research, I asked a different question. How can we make propolis work better? My solution? Nano emulsion. Now I want everyone in the hall to imagine your skin as a strainer. If you put large propolis onto it, it gets stuck on the surface. But if you break down those large propolis into tiny particles, you can pass through more easily. And that's how propolis nanoemulsion works. In my research, wounds treated with propolis nanoemulsion heals 50% faster. And it is simply the best kind of medication for healing. Best of all, it is safe, cheap, and eco. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just about healing wounds. No, it's about changing how propolis nanoemulsion takes wound care beyond expectation, proving that even the most overlooked things in nature can deliver extraordinary results. Thank you. Any questions from the judges?
So, in your opinion, how much propolis there is required to heal such a wound?
In my research, I found that propolis must be incorporated into the nano-emulsion formulation as much as 10%. And propolis is also considered as a waste. So we farmers, we often discard the propolis. But instead, in my research, this propolis will be reused again, and there will be no waste will be left aside. Okay, thank you to the second participant, Muhammad Amirul Adli from UITM. Okay, another question
Thank you.
from the judge.
I do have a question. Can you tell me actually the result that you show improve wound healing? Is it on human skin or actually on a model or in vitro modeling?
We've tested the wound healing efficacy of propolis nanoemulsion in vitro using dermal keratinocytes or skin cells for the human, and also in vivo model using spread body model.
I see. Because from here, I think that this is on human models, yeah, but it is on the in vitro model and animal models, preclinical models. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and round of applause. Interesting. Just now we had sea turtles, now we have bees. If you think that you were nervous, it is okay. I think everybody here wants to be supportive. Let's give time for the judges to review the marks. In the meantime, talking about healing wounds, it never occurred to me that this type of research will actually be helpful for us in the future. I thought if I had a boo-boo or an injured, I just put a plaster. But now we can use bees and their honey to actually advance and make sure that we heal properly using Mother Nature. Interesting fact too, bees produce honeys, but the participants produce research by researching the bees. Don't forget, you can scan the QR code if you think that our second participant, Muhammad Amirul bin Adli from UITM, deserves to be the winner of the People's Choice Awards for today. So ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the energy buzzing. After all, great ideas spread like bees pollinating flowers. Without further ado, I'll call upon the third participant, Nur Asmila binti Ishaq from USM.
Have you ever tried drinking a fresh glass of papaya juice? Excited for something refreshing and healthy. But instead, you feel thick, pulpy, and almost like drinking baby food. Ew. Why? Well, that thickness is caused by pectin, a natural fiber in papaya. Eat healthy, yes, but in food industry, it creates a big problem. It makes juice too cloudy, viscous, and hard to process. And there's another challenge. In Malaysia's hot tropical climate, papaya rots very fast. Within just a few days after harvest, quality drop and spoilage begins. Industries of this using an enzyme called pectinase. It acts like a tiny scissor, cutting, breaking down pectin so that the juice becomes smoother and easier to process. But here's the catch. Free enzymes are used once, then thrown away. Imagine buying a new washing machine for every wash. Isn't it expensive and wasteful? That is where my research comes in. My solution is simple but powerful. I trap the enzyme inside a tiny food-safe bead made from alginate. It's called immobilized pectinase alginate bead. Think of it like a reusable tea bag for enzyme. The enzyme stays inside the bead, continuous working, and can be reused again and again and again. And the results were exciting. I achieved 95% immobilization efficiency, meaning almost all the enzyme is successfully trapped and reusable. Plus, when applied to papaya juice, the pectin content was reduced almost 80% and viscosity dropped by more than half, transforming thick pulp into a smooth, drinkable juice. And importantly, we preserve antioxidant quality, meaning nutrition was not sacrificed. But industries doesn't just ask, does it work? They ask, does it last? Well, yes, our beads retain 80% activity even after storage, showing strong potential for real industrial processing. So why does research matter? Because this is not just about papaya fruits. It's about lower enzyme costs, more sustainable processing, and creating higher value product for tropical fruit industry, especially for countries like Malaysia, where our papaya is abundant, yet still underutilized in advanced fruit processing. My research opened the door for smarter processing technologies, not only for papaya fruits, but potentially for many tropical fruits in the future. So next time you drink a smooth glass of papaya juice, remember, it's not just about nutrition, but also sustainability, industrial innovation, and reusable enzyme engineering, all blended inside one glass. Thank you.
questions from the judges.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam
How do you
warahmatullahi.
feel?
Exciting and of course quite nervous.
Right. There's so many variations of papaya. Do they really matter in your research?
I'm sorry?
The variations of papaya.
The variation, what I'm used is we call sekaki papaya.
That
Pisang
means.
sekaki.
Does that mean if you use other variation of papaya, the result will be different?
I also tried with a few type of papaya, and the variation is not much this significant in my study. As what I'm studying more on the viscosity and the pectin content of the papaya juice. Well, it was a similar content in a form of the pectin content of the galactoronic acid equivalent.
All right. Thank you. Any other question?
Yes. I love the color of the juice.
Thank
That's
you so
really
much.
tempting. Can you remind me the title of your presentation so that I can really connect to what you present today?
My title is Smarter Papaya Processing for Immobilized Pectinase Alginate B. Yeah.
Is that your thesis title?
Yes.
That concludes the topical discussion. Thank you to the third participant, Nur Amelia binti Isha from USM. So as we can see, papayas need to wait more time to be ripe. Same as our participants, they took years in researching before getting the right papaya juice for all of us to enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget the QR code for the People's Choice Award. If you enjoy good papaya drink juice, this is the participant you must vote for. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done sea turtles, we have done bees, and also just now we had done some papayas. I wonder, what would the fourth presenter bring to us today? Without further ado, I call upon Nur Nabilah binti Zulkifli from UKM.
Testing, mic. 1, 2, 3. One morning, you wake up, your nose blocked. It's sinusitis. Annoying, isn't it? But what if I tell you that same sinus tucked behind your cheek could solve a death mystery? Let's play detective. Disasters such as plane crash, earthquake, and tsunamis produce dead bodies that are beyond recognition. Face vanished, fingerprints gone. How do we restore their lost identity? In forensic dentistry, we match the teeth of the victims to their dental history records. Now, problem arises when the teeth cannot give us enough information about the victim's identity. In extreme cases, the teeth could be insufficient, unavailable, or damaged. Identification becomes difficult or even impossible. In the worst case scenario, we could have mistaken the dead body for someone else. Clearly, we need something more. To tackle this problem, my research looked deeper than the teeth into the sinus, 2 hollow spaces tucked behind your cheekbone. I measured the sinus in length, height, width, and volume in 3-dimensional radiograph. And not only that, I analyzed each sinus carefully like a skilled detective to uncover its unique features. And here's what I found. First, the sinus is significantly different between the sexes. This means just by looking at the sinus, I can tell whether a person is a male or a female. Not only that, I can use it for age estimation. I measure the sinus, put it into formula, and estimate the age. Interesting, isn't it? But I did not stop there. I ended my research beyond Malaysia to Indonesia. And here's the exciting part. I found that there are significant differences in the sinus height and volume between these 2 populations. This proves that we might share the same root and look similar on the outside, but totally different on the sinus inside. This discovery strengthened its forensic value. Ultimately, the outcomes take us one step further towards individual identification. More than just scientific findings, my research contributes enormously towards restoring identity, humanity, and justice in line with SDG 16. In the end, people say the dead don't speak, but through science, the sinus does. Remember, here lies your identity that I am working so hard to protect. 2 sinus, 1 positive match, 1 identity restored. Thank you.
Questions from the judges?
Hi. I just a simple questions. Your research basically in Malaysia and Indonesia.
Correct.
How about the Europe, the African, and others? Because their hole is a bit different. So basically, it's a bigger hole and a small hole. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry, small?
The inside, right?
Yeah, the features
because
should
it
be
depends
different.
on your nose.
Yeah.
How big is your nose? How the airflow? Am I right? So yeah, that is my question. How you can differentiate between that?
Okay, first, I decided to compare the Malaysian and Indonesian population because it's a closely related group. In forensic identification, it is important that we can differentiate. Now my research proved that even in a closely similar group, we can find the difference. I would suggest that in the future, we might compare two completely different populations that might yield a greater result than that. So this research serves as a preliminary study and as a reference data for the research in the future. Thank you.
I do have a question.
Sorry, I'm from the involving the forensic, assisting cybersecurity, and also assisting in the court. Okay, forensic. So, based on your finding, how your contribution right now? Do you have any collaborator with the agency, or how you can go further with assisting the country, not just in the lab, your lab? That's all.
Currently, in my field, I will work as a forensic odontologist. For odontologists, we are directly under Interpol, as Interpol has listed 3 primary identifiers, DNA, fingerprint, and dental stand on the same level with fingerprint and DNA. So to share my experience from my involvement before in the identification of Elmina bodies in the plane crash, we also used this method, collaborated with the PDRM, the MINDEF, and also the enforcement bodies for the purpose of identification in disasters.
One want to pick up your research?
Sorry?
The agency, any agency that pick up your research right now?
For now, I haven't have the idea yet.
Okay.
One more question. So when you're showing these sinuses, can you actually tell us what kind of other sinuses available? Yeah, is this just limited to maxillary sinus that you're showing, or maybe other sinus as well available?
Okay, thank you for the question. In the craniofacial morphology, we have 4 sinuses. Maxillary sinus, which is the main character of my study. Frontal sinus, which have been proven internationally as a main identifier. And we have sphenoid and ethmoid sinus. So for my research, I decided to look in the maxillary sinus. The main is because in dental clinic, we take radiograph and usually we only look at the teeth. But this sinus is closely related to the root of the teeth and is often being overlooked. So why don't we use the availability of the data and utilize it for future research for forensic identification? You're welcome.
Thank you to all 4 participants. Round of applause for Nur Nabila binti Zulkifli from UKM. While waiting for the judges to carry out the marks, I just knew that we had 4 types of sinuses. I only know one, and it's always uninvited, especially when you have something important to do. But thank God today, as the MC, my sinuses are clear. So ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to look at the QR code, and if you believe that your sinus is calling for you, vote for Nur Nabila binti Zulkifli. Ladies and gentlemen, we call upon our final participants for the Science, Engineering and Technology category, Nur Shahirah binti Shaharuddin from UITM.
Is there anyone here who doesn't know Angelina Jolie? Exactly. Everyone knows her. Now don't worry, this isn't going to turn into a movie review session, although I'd love to do that. But Angelina Jolie's story actually connects closely to my research. A few years ago, she underwent a double mastectomy in which she removed both of her breasts after learning she had a high risk of breast cancer. Yet, statistics suggest in a room of 8 women, 1 may face breast cancer in her lifetime. She was also at risk of one of the most aggressive types, one that can spread quickly to other organs and has limited treatment that target only the cancer cells. That is why new treatment strategies are urgently needed. Instead of creating a drug from scratch, my research explores a different idea. Can we improve what nature already gives us? There's a plant called king of bitters, also known as hempedu bumi. Just like how cooking depends on the right ingredient, this plant contains an important ingredient called andrographolite. It has already shown promise in fighting cancers, but our body cannot process it well, reducing its effect. This is where my tiny collaborators come in. Fungi. Fungi and andrographolite are like the Mr. and Mrs. Smith of the cancer therapy. One transforms, the other fights. Together, they create a stronger cancer-fighting substance. First, I combine andrographolite with selected fungi and let them naturally redesign it. Then, I separated and identified these new substances. Finally, I tested these new substances in the lab directly on the breast cancer cells and in mice to test whether they can reduce tumor growth. What did I find? The fungi successfully created new improved versions of the natural substance with enhanced bioavailability, meaning the body can absorb and use them more efficiently. The results were kill cancer cells at much lower doses than the original plant substance, like needing fewer bullets to hit the same target, and slow down tumor growth in mice better than the existing breast cancer drug. In conclusion, my research shows that fungi can transform natural substance into more effective anti-cancer candidates. This approach is not only cost-effective, but also greener and more sustainable than the complex chemical methods. In the future, this could lead to better treatments against aggressive breast cancers and more hopeful patients. Sometimes, the smartest way to fight cancer is to let nature transform hope into healing. Thank you.
Questions from the judges?
Okay. It look something like you serving the world, but serving the world is not very happy for world healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, not everybody happy lah for pharmacy especially they cannot sell the drug.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when you test on the mice, and then how many sample actually you test and then how you can conclude the result that you're actually somehow solving or sometimes supporting to cure the cancer.
Okay.
Talking about your experiment.
Thank you for your question. So actually, we're still in the preliminary stage. We're still studying for the in vivo work. But for the first one, we started with the 36 samples, and then we allocated into like 3 different groups for 3 different doses, as well as the controls. But for further research for in vivo, we will go further, not only just with the compound, but we will combine it with the actual chemotherapy drug. So we can see whether just by the compound or with the actual chemotherapy drug will do much better. So, but right now we're still in preliminary stage. We did with 36 mice. Yeah.
Do have a question. So I'm very interested on the animal model. Is this the model have breast cancer developed, or is bearing the cell line with breast cancer? And which model that you think that is more elegant in verifying the effectiveness of the treatment?
So we use NSG mice, and this mice is an immunodeficient mice without any tumor in them, but then we induce the tumor into them. So for the type of mice, yes, for NSG, it is like suitable for this kind of research. I would say it makes our life easier because it doesn't have any immune system that will reject the tumor. But we did discuss with our supervisor which much more suitable mice. I would say the old one and also the normal mice, normal and also old mice, because it actually replicates the current cases of breast cancer in Malaysia, which most of them are like old women. So I would say if I were to go further into more clinical, before clinical tests, of course, I would study on like a normal mice, but like old one that maybe they have some, other sickness like diabetes, that would be much more better. Yeah, okay.
Tell me your actual thesis title. I don't see that Mr. and Mrs. Smith title there. That is right. So what is title?
It's actually a microbial derivation of androgalphylide, and its derivative in vivo and in vitro and in vivo study.
How are you going to, because I don't know how are you going to collect the plant into, if we do it for mass production?
I'm sorry, your question means like how, if we were to do it into mass production? Oh, so...
Have enough supply of the raw material.
I have to admit, when we do microbial transformation using fungi and the plant, to be honest, we couldn't get that much of compound. So that is why my supervisor decided that we come up with a plan where we combine it with the chemotherapy drug. After all, if you just study with the compound itself, we don't know if it could affect the other drugs that they take at the same time. Because obviously, women that has breast cancer will take a lot of drugs. So that's why we combined it. But actually not that much, and we'll need even larger production to get enough if just the compound.
Then you can start educating the society to, you know, to like start planting the plants.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you to our last participant, Nur Syairah binti Syahrudin from UITM. The good thing about fungi, as long as it doesn't grow on your lunch, it should be okay. And something good today that we have actually learned, fungi and andrograph for light is amazing, right? Because why? You guys are busy trying to pronounce andrograph for light, just like me. We're waiting for the judges to deliberate the marks. In the meantime, if you think that fungi can save the world, do vote for Nur Syairah binti Syahrudin using the QR code for the People Choice Award. Well done to all participants of the first category. We will commence with the second category shortly. Thank you to all the judges for your time, fairness and valuable contributions. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for our first round judges. We'll begin the second session in another 5 minutes. Participants, please be ready, and for the audiences, please be seated.
Hello, I'm Professor Dr. Fazli bin Adam, the Vice Chancellor of University Sultan Zainal Abidin. Our commitment to sustainability is embodied in our Green Campus Strategy Policy, and I am excited to share our commitment to sustainability. This policy serves as a guiding document for all sustainability programs and initiatives at UNISA based on SDGs and ESG agenda. Together, we are leading the way towards a sustainable future aligned with our University Strategic Plan 2023 to 2030. Join us as we work towards a sustainable world for everyone.
The Green Campus Strategic Policy of University Sultan Zainal Abidin empowers sustainable campus development through effective resource management, innovative educational environments, energy efficiency, and the active involvement of the entire campus community, all aligned with the University Strategic Plan 2023 to 2030. In 2015, the United Nations introduced the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, a global plan to promote peace, prosperity, and environmental protection. At its core are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which aim to tackle poverty, improve health and education, reduce inequality, and protect the planet. UNISA is committed to implementing these SDGs through strategic initiatives in sustainability, ensuring a positive impact on the environment, economy, and society for future generations. Together, we support a sustainable future for all, UNISA is fully committed to all the Sustainable Development Goals based on UNISA niche and expertise. UNISA has aligned its focus with 4 key SDGs. At UNISA, our commitment to economic, social, and governance (ESG) strategies drives meaningful change. Through community engagement initiatives, we foster connections and support local development. Our dedicated staff collaborate and celebrate together, embodying our governance values. These efforts not only enhance our campus community, but also strengthen our impact beyond the university. Together, we can make a significant impact and drive positive change.
What is UMPSA? We are education. In its essence, UMPSA builds the ongoing future generation. It provides the best quality of studying for its students to experience and gain new knowledge. We are passionate, pushing ourselves to become someone who inspires innovation and dedication to continue the legacy. We are technologies, enabling all the world's thinkers to enlighten and shape the world in multiple possibilities. We are TVET, producing quality skilled human resources with their requisite values and beliefs. We are research, exploring new methods and knowledge to develop amazing wonders that will assist our society. We are entrepreneurs. Modern society demands innovative and heart-driven people. UMPSA teaches its students the foundation of what it takes to become one. We are an opportunity, a place for students to create and present their inventions and ideas to the world. We are global, forging a path on an international level through partnerships and understanding. We are a community. Students from across the world can study and interact with ease and share their cultures and heritage. We are service, providing the best facilities for our students to flourish and a chance to give back to society. We are sustainable. For years, the Green Campus has been used to incorporate environmental management and safeguards into tertiary institutions, making them a more livable and sustainable place to study. A place to relax your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, judges are ready and the participants are eager to present. So just now for the first session, we had from the sea to the bees, and we had juicy papayas, and then saving the world with fungi and helping us solving our sinuses issues. So now we're hoping to see a few more presentations in the social science category. So without further ado, I'll call upon the first presenter, Azizi bin Bashar from UTHM.
Test 1, 2, 3.
What if I tell you that a single word from news headline could change who you fear, who you trust, and who you blame? Let's imagine there are two newspapers reporting on the same event.
labeling the same group with two different words. The first newspaper called the group as the terrorists, while the other newspaper called the group as the freedom fighters. How would you emotionally react to these two words? As for me personally, I would say that the word terrorist would create fear, while the word freedom fighters would create sympathy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is media framing. News should be presented without emotions, without ideologies, as well as influence. It should simply describe facts, yet language is never neutral. Every headline was written not just by accident. It is shaped by the journalist. The words they use, the voices they put in, as well as the voices they leave out. These small choices would affect how readers would understand about an event. I give you one example. I call this group on my right as the terrorists, while I call this group on my left as the freedom fighters. Between these two groups, which one sounds more dangerous, right or left? Despite this influence, there are still many readers out there who do not realize that news language could change and shape on how they understand about the conflict. And there are many studies out there about media bias, but only few studies are looking at how news language could turn group into heroes, villains, or even victims. And this is where my research comes in. By using appraisal analysis, as well as social actor representation theory, I have analyzed more than 100,000 words of news headlines on how they represent, as well as evaluate certain groups in the news media, using emotionally powerful language. But the most important part of my research would be the development of linguistic guidelines for the journalists. Why? Because we want them to provide us with unbiased, clear, and concise news reporting. I always believe fair reporting should start with fair language. And by having this meaningful framework, we would be able, as the readers, we would be able to spot on hidden bias and to understand how language shapes what we believe. So next time, when you read newspapers, ask yourself, am I reading news or am I being influenced by the journalist? With that, I thank you.
Questions from the judges?
All right, okay, thank you. Azizi, thank you for your presentation. Good job. So, can you please share your framework on this, on your research?
All right, thank you for the questions. I don't think I can reveal the whole thing about the framework, but I'm giving you the hint was actually I'm using the appraisal analysis by Martin and White, and I'm combining it with the social actor representation theory with from Cres Van Leeuwen to look into how the social actor were represented on that particular news media. So that is basically my kind of framework.
I see, okay.
Right.
Hi, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very much for your interesting presentation.
Thank you so much.
I would like to ask you about your findings.
Yeah.
How do you think your findings would benefit the community? How
my findings would benefit the community? Okay, basically my research is about Hamas on the Israel-Palestine conflict. It's all about the people misunderstood when the Western medias represent Hamas as the social actor in the group. They're always being negative on that particular side. So how it would give back to the community is that I'm looking at the framework that has an ability to make the headlines looks neutral, and whether we as the readers, we do not know whether this is biased or whether this is not biased or something like that. So this framework would somehow help us to understand whether these people are being negatively presented or positively presented or something like that.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes, no worries.
How to speak.
Yeah.
It's so very Malaysian, isn't it? You have to have a code for everything. Would that not impinge on freedom of the press?
All right, let's say. At the beginning of my study, I was looking at the code or the framework for helping the journalists come up with the guidelines and everything. And as you said, Prof, it would be so rigid and something like that. So by the end of my study, we even come up with a better solution. We come up with an apps, which is bias lens. So all the framework that I've got, all the data that have been analyzed, I put it into some kind of coding system, and we come up with bias lens, and it will help the readers. They just key in whatever they read, and then the bias lens will help you to show whether it is neutral, whether it is biased, or something like that. So that would be the end of my study. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you. Our first participant, Azizi Bebasha from UTHM. Media framing reminds us that two people can watch the same events but write two completely different headlines. That is why reading beyond the headline is always a good idea. And just now I was called a terrorist. I was on the right hand side just now. Fortunately, I'm not the terrorist today. I'm framing as a positive person. Unless the participants speaks more than 3 minutes, then the timekeeper will be the terrorist. If you believe Azizi bin Basha deserves to be the People's Choice Award, do vote for him using the QR code provided. And as today, we want all the presenters to be good at their storytelling. And a great presenter frames it so well that everyone remembers it even though it passes the 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite our second participant, Juti Kanan Krishnamurthy from UMPSA.
Test. Imagine we are walking into Malaysia buffet. The rice is warm, the curry smells perfect, and the satay is still untouched. And now, imagine this, taking 1/3 of that food and throwing it straight in the bin. It sounds ridiculous, is it? But globally, this is what we are doing every year. About 1/3 of food produced for human consumption is waste, while millions of people goes to their bed hungry. In Malaysia, this problem is not just happening in our home, but it happens across the food and beverage industries. So the companies are fighting back. They are using smart technologies like IoT sensor to monitor freshness, AI to predict demand, blockchain to trace the product, and digital platform that can connect entire system into one. This sounds like a perfect recipe, right? But here is the problem. A smart kitchen does not automatically make a good chef. Companies are investing heavily in smart technologies, yet their circular projects still fail. Food is waste, resources lost, and the sustainability plans still fail. So, my research asks a simple question. If the technology is the engine, what is the missing piece from the driver's seat? To answer this question, I have analyzed Malaysian food industry using 4 stages. First, I interviewed 12 senior managers who work directly with the technology. Second, I conducted 7 industrial case studies to understand what is actually happening inside a company. Third, I test and validate my research instrument with experts and academicians. And finally, I analyze my result with PLSM and necessary condition analysis and FSQCA. Now, the message is clear. Technologies matter, but technology alone is not enough. So based on my finding, companies that are implementing sustainable project management and smart technology, their company performance improves significantly, which means fewer tons of food sent to the landfill, and a strong Malaysia food industry that can go beyond without wasting any resources. So, my research is clear that knowledge alone is not enough. Technology has the power to predict the waste, but it is our job to manage the project responsibility. Thank you.
Questions from the judges?
Hi, thank you. Very energetic, very excited, yeah? Okay, okay, I would like to ask you, if you had more time for your research, what would you do next?
So, doctor, if I have a more time, maybe for now I just concentrate on the food, beverage, and industries, right? So maybe I can expand into manufacturing, electronic, and even more other areas.
And how your findings can be a reference for our neighboring country?
So, doctor, so if you see, I conducted 3 types of analysis. First, quantitative, and qualitative, and mixed. So first, for the qualitative analysis, I interviewed 12 senior manager and conducted 7 industrial case studies. And then I analyzed my result using PLSM, necessary condition analysis, and FSQCA. Yeah. So that means we can at least see what is happening inside food and beverage industries. Is it still having a responsible project management aspect or not?
Okay, my question. Why did you conduct only to 7 cases? Is it enough to represent your study, the finding for your study?
Okay, the 7 case studies. Okay, doctor, initially, this is my, what we say, preliminary test only. So the result of this, I have to conduct more PLS analysis using, for now I have 360 firms that you see my form, like Google form, that have answered my Google form. So I haven't included that into my presentation yet, because my thesis is still in the proposal defense stage, where I've conducted 7 industrial case studies and interviewed 12 senior manager for now.
Okay, thank you to the second participant. Round of applause for Jutikanan Krishnamurthy from UMPSA. Amazing what smart technology can actually do. Remember the traditional method of sniffing a food, and if it's spoiled and rotten, we can actually know, but with smart technology, the AI will actually tell you the food has been spoiled. And if you think smart technology have a place in your heart, please don't forget to use the QR code for the People's Choice Award for voting Jutikanan Krishnamurthy. Talking about smart IT, I hope there's an application in the future where it actually can tell me you're spending too much on food. And I think it applies to everybody here too. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call and invite our third participant, Nur Wazikas Madya binti Wazi from UNISA.
Bismillah, testing.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a simple question. If you had to prepare for a dangerous offshore job, would you rather sit through slides in the classroom or drink in something fun that feels a bit like gaming, where you can explore the platform, practice tasks, and make mistakes safely before the real job begins? That is exactly what my research is about.
In offshore oil and gas, the workplace is tough. There are heavy machines, emergency alarms, strict safety rules, and high-pressure situations. For new hires and people going offshore for the first time, this can feel overwhelming. The problem is, traditional training may tell people what to do, but it does not always make them feel truly ready. So, my study looks at immersive virtual training, IVT. IVT places trainees in a virtual offshore environment before they ever step onto the real platform. It is more interactive, more realistic, and more hands-on. In a way, IVT combines training, simulations, and a touch of gaming to make learning more fun and feel more alive. But the real question is, does high-tech training automatically mean better training? Not really, because even the best technology will not work if people find it difficult, boring, and hard to connect with. So, in my research, I focus on 3 simple things. Is IVT easy to use? Do trainees enjoy using it? Do trainees feel positive about it? And then I ask, do these things make trainees more engaged? And when they are more engaged, are they more satisfied with the training? To answer these questions, I studied Petronas new hires and personnel newly assigned offshore. What I found is important. IVT is not effective just because it looks modern. It becomes effective when it is easy to use, it draws trainees in, keeps them engaged, and helps them to feel ready. So, this research is not just about technology. It's about making training simple, real, and engaging enough to prepare people before they step into a high-risk role. Because in offshore work, confidence should not begin on the platform. It should begin before the first step offshore.
Questions from the judges?
When you say engaging,
Yes.
what are the characteristics of engagement? Because I know that you have to simulate real, the element of fear, the element of being on the platform. So how do you connect that with your engagement, which doesn't sound so threatening?
Okay. After the research, during the pilot study, during the data collection, we actually went to Petronas Twin Towers, Tower 2, in North Center, and we gathered the Petronas new hires and personnel newly assigned offshore. And after they went through the VR simulations, we took the feedback from them, and there were a few questions that they need to answer. So from the questionnaire, we found out that the VR that the School of Informatics and Computing from UNISA has produced is actually using the real Petronas platform in Sabah, and the feedback from them is very, very good. They can feel the real, they can actually imagine they are on the platform, and they know the path, they know where to go from deck to deck, from mezzanine deck, and it makes them feel interested. Moreover, using VR is more cost effective. Like if you do it physically, it costs a lot of money. So this is what we are moving on the future. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations. Thank you for your presentation, very good presentation. I want to know what is the practicality of this research?
Practicality of this usage, it helps the industry, not only oil and gas, but also high-risk industry, before they actually step onto the site, the physical site, they can train the new hires the site, the personnel newly assigned to the site, the industry can actually make them more aware, more familiar with the site, because they can program, they can actually using the real site. But the most important thing is safety. In offshore or any high-risk industry, safety is the most important thing. So the first thing we need, the new hires, and new hires especially in this case, they need to know the safe area, where to master, the exit area. But without the VR, before they go to offshore or any high-risk area, if they train with VR, they actually can have an idea where to master in case of emergency, where to go, and where to master at this safe place.
Okay, one last question, can I? I'm very interested in this. I don't know why. Do you think Petronas will take this next year?
Oh, actually, we've done this under Petronas Academia grant, UNISA Petronas. So it's actually been implemented. I mean, I can't exactly say on behalf of them, but they have accepted the project and they are going to implement it.
When?
That one
Don't
could
know
be
yet.
PNC, but maybe they will announce it. But this project, as I've told earlier, we've been using the exact platform layouts from CDAG, mezzanine deck, all the decks on the platform.
All
So
right.
yes,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Round of applause for our third participant, Nawazizka Madia binti Wazi from UNISA. Using VR before the job. I think that will be a new job scope in the future, but I don't think that will be applicable for teaching though. And it's important, preparation is very important. It's like, before coming out here, okay, I would tell myself, have I locked my doors? Have I fed my cats? Have I turned off the water? All those come into preparation. Did you? Did you? Hopefully you did. Something that we can learn here, preparation comes a long way, and hopefully for the participants with their preparations throughout the 3MT journey has been a unique experience for all of them. So don't forget to vote for her if you wish for her to see as the People's Choice Award. This is the QR code provided. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our fourth participant, Nur Ashikin Zulkarnain from UKM.
Testing. Did you know that bullying cases in Malaysia have increased from 3,800 to 6,000 in just 1 year? End of 2025, over 11,000 students were affected, leaving many to suffer in silence. Aisha is one of them. Every morning, her stomach feels sick and her heart beats fast, not because of exam, but because she is terrified of bullying. She stays silent because she's afraid and shy to speak up. Aisha's story is not rare. It is happening right now in schools across Malaysia. Teenage girls are struggling with their mental health more than ever. Without a safe place to talk, many girls feel like they have nowhere to go. To understand the problem, I approached 50 teenage girls and 5 NGOs and listened closely to their stories. What I found was heartbreaking. These girls want help, but they are too afraid to ask. So, I developed the Virtual Faith Companion, or VFC, that contains inspiring stories based on faith literature and real-life experiences with the help of psychologists to provide the
practical emotional support for affected teenage girls. By reading these stories, the girls can engage to their emotion and can manage their feelings. VFC is unique because it works like a chatbot that combines moral values and faith to offer emotional support. Through this VFC, girls do not just read stories, but they get daily tools to manage their emotion in a safe space free from judgment by others. This is in line with SDG 3, focuses on good health and well-being. So, ladies and gentlemen, VFC is like a digital friend that is available 24/7 and completely private. It is more than just an app. It is a bridge that helps counselors and healthcare workers to reach the unreachable generation. By combining stories, faith, and technology, we can save lives with just one click. Now, with the help of virtual faith real-life stories, Aisha can finally go to school with no more worries. With that, thank you.
Questions from the judges?
Okay, congratulations for this presentation. So just curious to know how, if, that mean this one is depend on the gadget that they have it. So what if the student don't have it? So how this issue can be solved? Because that one is depend on the gadget, on the tablet, etc. So what do you think about that?
Okay, thank you, judges, for the question. But actually, VFC works like a chatbot. It's combine moral values and faith, and then we will create an app for all students, and we will move it onto the digital chat form, like a Telegram or chat or WhatsApp, and it's free accessible and can access from to any other countries. Even in rural place also can use that through Telegram and WhatsApp.
May I know biggest limitation for this app? The biggest limitation.
Biggest limitation? Yeah. Okay, actually this VFC limit to teenage girls because bullying cases in Malaysia, most of them, teenage girls have a highest rate of bullying than boys. And from previous studies, psychologists shows that a coping mechanism, emotional expression, and barriers for seeking help differ between genders, and mostly teenage girls often experiencing silence, anxiety, and hesitation to speak up. So we only focus on teenage girls for this VFC apps.
How would you engage with counselors?
Okay,
school counselors.
Thank you. For the counselors, we use expert validation to review the content and to provide what is the emotional challenges that face in the community. And then counselors works as a person who they will contact. For example, like these apps, if the user use self-harm detection keywords, and then the chatbot, the VFC, will pause the narrative mode and then guide them to a hotline or direct link to counselors or specific counselors. For them to contact, just click the button and then refer to that counselor. Okay.
Thank you, judges, for the question. Round of applause for Nurashikin Zulkarnain from UKM. This research explores how technology can support faith. It proves that innovation isn't just about getting faster devices, it also can be about meaningful connections. And talking about connections, the application is specialized for girls only. Hopefully, there will be for boys. Boys can go moody too sometimes. And boys do need help. programs. Okay, so if you think Nur Ashikin deserves to be the People's Choice Award for today, there is the QR code in front. Do scan and vote for her. So ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our final participants for today. For the social science category, I would like to invite Nur Izzah binti Osman from UITM.
Check, rock. Got to do a take a go. Okay. Hello everyone. Before I begin, I'd like to ask you a question. Have you ever tried learning a new language and you felt so confident about it until a real person starts talking? Well, let me share you my story first. You see, I used to be so obsessed with K-dramas that I decided to learn Korean just because of it. But guess what? Every time I tried to turn off the subtitles, I understood nothing. The only thing I could hear was just, "Araso, what?" That's it. And do you know, that is exactly what happens to many foreigners who are trying to learn new language, including Bahasa Melayu. Ladies and gentlemen, our country is home to more than 3.5 million foreigners. That's a lot. But according to Hunt et al., only less than 20% are fluent in Bahasa Melayu. Such a small percentage, don't you think so? But what's surprising here is that, according to Asma Haji Omar, Bahasa Melayu is actually one of the easiest languages to learn. So if language is not the problem, what is it then? Well, in 2022, Osman and Abdul Rabu finally figured that the issue was not the language, it was actually listening fluency. So what is listening fluency? Listening fluency refers to the ability to understand spoken language in real time, naturally. But the problem with us Malaysians is that when we speak fast, we shorten words. Tidak becomes tak. Ya becomes So this raises an important question here. How can these learners improve their listening fluency when exposed to real-life fast-paced Bahasa Melayu? So I explore one possible solution, mobile learning. So my research asked, can a mobile app help learners to improve their listening fluency in a real-life Bahasa Melayu? And to answer that, I developed iListen. iListen was designed based on 7 prominent theories, and of course, I also included real learners to work together with me so that I can tell you this app is fully learner-oriented, doctors. And then I tested this app for 5 weeks, again with real learners using them, yeah? So they could use this app anytime, anywhere they wanted. The only thing they needed to do was just to press start and start listening to any real life situations they wanted to hear. For example, situations at the local warung. So they could hear phrases like, "Abang, teh tarik satu, ikat tepi." Masuk buku, ah. So they could pause, slow it down, or even listen to it 10 times. Nobody's going to judge anyway. But here's the best part. After 5 weeks, when I conducted interviews with them, they reported that they became more confident and they could speak longer. So iListen finally helps them to understand what they hear around them. And when they understand, they feel more connected, more included, and most importantly, doctor, they feel more at home. That's the impact of iListen. iListen, hear the language, feel at home. My name is Izzah Osman. Assalamualaikum.
Questions from the judges.
I think you can teach anybody to speak any language.
Sorry?
I think you can teach anybody to speak any language.
For sure, for sure. What would you like me to teach? I can teach you love language. Arabic?
Arabic, yes.
أنا أتعلم قليل فقط.
Okay, I want to ask a question about listening. In any language, listening is always the most difficult part. That's how I find as well.
Agree.
So how long is your students' dependence on your gadget? You know, you cannot be carrying around this iListen gadget all the time as if it's a magic wonder. So how long is the person learning your app, the thingy, is dependent upon it, becomes independent?
That's a very good question, Doctor. Okay, first of all, Doctor, I just need to clarify that my research consists of moderator variables. That means it depends on their exposure themselves. Okay?
depending on the app and the exposures. And especially, I think we are all aware, most of the foreigners, especially those who are living in Monkiara, Bangsa, high elite area, where most Malay people don't speak Malay that much. So that has low exposure. So when you talk about dependency, if your exposure is as equal as the rate of your usage, will take at least 3 months. It won't be lesser than that, doctor, because we have so many situations, so many domains, and of course it involves intonation, sounds, like the one I said just now, it's not really a textbook Malay, okay? I don't know how we learn all that, I really don't know. Okay, so those take at least 3 months based on my research, my pilot testing. Any other question?
Okay. Annyeonghaseyo.
Annyeonghaseyo.
Tengok tak pandai lah.
Tak apa.
Baby boomers tak pandai sangat.
Baby boomers sangat, tak apa. Baby boomers ke mudanya?
Baby boomers dah.
Okay, extra mark for that.
Right, thank you. So how many languages actually you translating from bahasa Malaysia to
English? We use English as a main target language for the translation part for the app itself, because we assume English is the lingua franca of the world for now. Okay, but
so meaning from BM to English.
English, yes.
Only.
The transcript is actually bilingual, English and BM.
So kalau contoh ikat tepi, translated.
Okay, we have side note atau nota kaki, we call it, under the script.
Okay.
So they can hear without the transcript. So they can click and then listen. So if they have if you got some of the colloquial terms, doctor, then they have a small note of nota kaki that says what is ikat tepi means. So they can read the notes, or maybe even without the notes.
So it's not direct translation. It's
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's a subtitle, yes. Any other question, doctor? Any more language you want me to speak? Korean? Peta. Like Janet. French? Je parle français petit peu. Mais j'ai du mal à écouter le français. Je dois fusion.
Merci. Congratulations. Thank you to our final presentation from Nur Izzah binti Osman from UITM. I listen. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting. Imagine you're going for London for 3 months and then you forgot how to speak Malay. I listen is the app for you. And if you believe Nur Izzah binti Osman is the best person for the People's Choice Award, there is a QR code in front. Do vote for her. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for all our participants for today. Outstanding presentation by all of our participants. This concludes all the presentations for today's competition. Our panels of judges will now proceed with the judges' deliberation session to review the scores and determine the winners. We kindly invite everyone to remain in the hall while the deliberation takes place. Thank you for your patience. And a round of applause for our honorable judges here today. Thank you.
To the Prophet Muhammad, Iqra, which means to recite or to read, exalts the excellence of knowledge. At University Science Islam Malaysia, USIM, we offer a holistic education that integrates Nakli and Akli knowledge, nurturing a noble generation and a knowledgeable society. Emerged as the first Islamic university established by the Malaysian government, USIM aspires to create a generation of proficient scholars in contemporary fields of specialization. Since its inception in 1998, it has reintroduced students from Islamic secondary schools into the national education system, giving them a chance to pursue a variety of professional studies while retaining their Islamic heritage as a foundation for their education. From the religious studies, via its various sources, Quran, Sunnah, and primary Turath texts, we gain the knowledge of God. On that basis, other disciplines are introduced. Our 9 academic faculties offer courses methodically designed to illuminate the integrated experience. Accredited and recognized by professional bodies, the curriculum also emphasizes mastery of the Arabic and English language, further preparing them for a life of service to the global community. The academic and research foundations at USIM, with a particular emphasis on diversity and inclusivity, health and social well-being, sustainability, cybersecurity and digital well-being, and knowledge for change, serve as the cornerstone for the curricular pillars. These studies and research programs, which are locally based but are of global significance, benefit communities from all social strata. The campus is purposefully designed to be user-friendly, including for the elderly and individuals with impairments, and it encourages a spiritual approach among its members. USIM's strategic location in Nilai, home to several educational and research institutions, promotes rewarding engagement with the educational communities. Bustling with various leisure and entertainment options, Nilai is located near Malaysia's administrative capital Putrajaya, the region's tech hub Cyberjaya, and Kuala Lumpur, the busy capital and economic heart of Malaysia. Major highways and convenient public transportation systems, including commuter lines, provide excellent access to the university. Being adjacent to Kuala Lumpur International Airport, USIM is the only Malaysian university situated nearby airports, making it hypothetically the closest university to home. The curriculum and co-curriculum at USIM, built on the firm foundation of Nakli and Akli knowledge, accentuates students' true potential to participate in sports and academics, management and leadership, entrepreneurship, innovation, and culture. They open up various opportunities for interaction among cultures, understanding of different backgrounds, and the spirit of belonging and togetherness among members of the community. Offering an innovative, integrated learning experience, we aspire to cultivate a knowledgeable, disciplined, and devout generation that is able to contribute to the betterment of the Ummah and humanity.
Every journey begins with a step. For thousands of students each year, that step begins here at University Science Malaysia, a place where curiosity meets opportunity. As a new student enters the campus for the first time, the air is filled with wonder, dreams, and a touch of uncertainty. But above all, there's hope. Isn't just one campus. It's a constellation of brilliance, From the historic main campus on the island of Penang, to the cutting-edge engineering campus in Nibong Tebal, to the compassionate health campus in Kelantan, every corner of USM echoes with innovation, learning, and life. The story of USM began in 1969. Born as University of Penang, the second university established in Malaysia. Amid a growing nation's hunger for knowledge, this institution was founded with a bold vision to make education accessible, impactful, and inclusive. By 1971, the university relocated to its permanent home in Minden, Penang, on a former British military base, reimagined as a place of learning and discovery. Over the years, USM broke new ground in research, innovation, and community engagement. In 2008, USM was entrusted with the transformative role as the only university chosen to lead the APEX program. This accelerated program for excellence isn't merely about speed, it's about direction. It's about reshaping higher education to be more inclusive, sustainable, and globally impactful. Over 45,000 postgraduate and 171,000 undergraduate students have graduated from USM. With 27 academic schools, USM is a garden of knowledge where sciences blend with humanities and innovation meets wisdom. Every student finds their path, every idea finds its voice. In these halls, knowledge is not just taught, it's experienced. The classroom becomes a space of dialogue, of curiosity, of growth. USM houses 21 research centers, each tackling real-world problems through innovative thinking. From health sciences to artificial intelligence, our researchers do more than discover. They solve, they build, they transform. USM is home to students from all over the globe. Here, ideas travel beyond borders, shaping minds that are truly global. With collaborations across 69 countries, USM is a global connector linking knowledge, talent, and innovation. A holistic education needs a holistic environment. The USM's campus is alive with facilities that support the body, mind, and soul. From libraries to stadiums, from hospitals to hostels, from studios to innovation labs. Life at USM is rich and vibrant. Here, diversity becomes unity. Through shared meals, group projects, clubs, and causes, students don't just learn, they belong. They find family, purpose, and passion. This is the moment. Graduation cap and gown, applause, and tears. It's more than graduation, it's transformation. The nervous first step becomes a proud stride across the stage, and a student becomes a change maker. At USM, we do more than educate. We ignite, we nurture, we elevate. The journey may begin here, but its impact echoes across the world.
Hello, I'm Professor Dr. Fazli bin Adam, the Vice Chancellor of University Sultan Zainal Abidin. Our commitment to sustainability is embodied in our Green Campus Strategy Policy, and I am excited to share our commitment to sustainability. This policy serves as a guiding document for all sustainability programs and initiatives at UNISA based on SDGs and ESG agenda. Together, we are leading the way towards a sustainable future aligned with our University Strategic Plan 2023 to 2030. Join us as we work towards a sustainable world for everyone.
The Green Campus Strategic Policy of University Sultan Zainal Abidin empowers sustainable campus development through effective resource management, innovative educational environments, energy efficiency, and the active involvement of the entire campus community, all aligned with the University Strategic Plan 2023 to 2030. In 2015, the United Nations introduced the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, a global plan to promote peace, prosperity, and environmental protection. At its core are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which aim to tackle poverty, improve health and education, reduce inequality, and protect the planet. UNISA is committed to implementing these SDGs through strategic initiatives in sustainability, ensuring a positive impact on the environment, economy, and society for future generations. Together, we support a sustainable future for all. UNISA is fully committed to all the Sustainable Development Goals based on UNISA niche and expertise. UNISA has aligned its focus with 4 key SDGs. At UNISA, our commitment to economic, social, and governance (ESG) strategies drives meaningful change. Through community engagement initiatives, we foster connections and support local development. Our dedicated staff collaborate and celebrate together, embodying our governance values. These efforts not only enhance our campus community, but also strengthen our impact beyond the university. Together, we can make a significant impact and drive positive change.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the judges have now concluded their deliberation, we shall proceed with the judges' summary of today's competition. It is my great pleasure to invite our Chief Judge, Yang Bahagia Professor Technologist Dr. Arifin bin Abdul Muttalib, to deliver the judges' summary and share the overall observations of today's presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Yang Bahagia Professor Technologist Dr. Arifin bin Abdul Muttalib.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shall it be in Bahasa or English?
English.
English, right. Thank you to the chairperson, and this is the first time I'm here in USIM. My very first time, and thank you for bringing me here. I'm bringing with me the spirit of UUM. And especially to the person who noticed me. Siapa tu I do not know lah, but it's a big pleasure for me, a great honor being being chosen as a chief judge is something that I really have to focus, but I have a very good team with me. Give a big applause to the barisan jury. Okay, to the contestants, to the participants, and you are contestants actually, and sailing through the process, and we have witnessed you. We enjoyed your presentation. But one thing, all participants have demonstrated a good skill in presenting your work, right? But what we can conclude here, we have already discussed, I am conveying what we have discussed so that we can, coming to competitions is actually a learning process. We take it as a learning process. So, congratulations to the winners first. All of you are winners, but of course in the list you will have the winner, the runner-ups, right? So if you have won today, it does not mean that you are the best. It's just for this event. If you do not win today, not everyone wins. Yeah, but number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doesn't mean that you are not good forever. The room for you to improve yourself is so wide, and do not stop. Throughout the presentations, we see that you have to be sensitive to the audience, to who you present your work to, right? In the lineup, we have academics, we have industry, and you are trying to convince people on your work through your presentation. The minute number 1 is very important. The minute number 1 is very important to bring in audience into what you're going to say in the remaining minutes. So try to get the buy-in, right? Try to get the buy-in through your introduction. Be something very abnormal. Win the interest of your audience. They are here not as school students. We are here not as school students. We are here. We are expecting something that benefits high to the society, right? And yes, I understand being on stage makes you feel nervous, but try to overcome this one and try to deliver at your best as natural as you can. Be natural. Be natural. For the coming events, right? Be natural and touch to the heart of the audience. If you keep something inside, you keep inside, you not let it go, and that will show that it can be like, and the process has to be transparent, has to be crystallized. The research design part, right? And this kind of thing, among points that we value, right? Overall, we are so satisfied with our presentations, and the decision is final. Right? Is that all? Is that all? Thank you very much. And again to the organizers, thank you for bringing me here.
Thank you, Yang Bahagia Professor Technologist Dr. Arifin bin Abdul Muttalib, for your insightful summary and valuable feedback. We truly appreciate your time, expertise, and thoughtful evaluation of today's competition. Hopefully, you'll be coming to use him over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed with the prize presentation ceremony. Before I call the VIPs, I would like to invite all 5 participants from the Science, Engineering and Technology category to the stage. To present the awards to our winners, may I invite Yang Bahagia Professor Datuk Dr. Nik Salih dan Suhaila Nik Saleh, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International, accompanied by Professor Dr. Nur Fazlan Zulkifli and Professor Dr. Azlan Abdul Aziz to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a warm round of applause. Are you ready to know the winners? Yes or no? Are you sure? Yes or no? Yes, all right, very good. So now, I'm going to announce the winners from the 5th place all the way to the champion. Let's look. Our 5th place award goes to Muhammad Zulkarnain bin Muhammad Dali from UNISA. Round of applause for Muhammad Zulkarnain. Next, the recipients of the 4th place award goes to Nur Asmilia binti Isha from USM. We move on to our top 3 winners. The second runner-up of the 3-minute thesis competition 2026 goes to Muhammad Amirul bin Adli from UITM. And now, we are only left with 2 more participants. Who will be the champion? Let's call the 2 participants to move up in front a bit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that everybody has been waiting for. The champion. I will announce the champion first. The champion of the 3-minute thesis competition for the category of Science, Engineering and Technology goes to Nur Nabila binti Zulkifli. Therefore, the first runner-up goes to Nur Shahira binti Shahrudin. I would like to invite Nur Shahira binti Shahrudin from UITM to receive the award. And I would like to call upon Nur Nabila binti Zulkifli, the champion for the 3MT minutes of 3MT thesis competition for the category Science, Engineering and Technology. Participants move forward together to take a photograph with the VIPs. A round of applause to all our participants for the Science, Engineering and Technology category. Participants, you may go down. Professors, please remain on the stage. Now, I would like to invite all participants from the social science category to the stage. Round of applause for all of our participants. Ladies and gentlemen, we commence with the prize-giving award ceremony for the social science category. The 5th place goes to Mr. Azizi bin Basha from UTHM. Fourth place goes to Mr. Jutikanan Krishnamurthy from UMPSA. So the top 3s will be ladies here for today. So which one will be coming back with the 3rd place? The 3rd place goes to Norashike Zulkarnain from UKM. We are now left with 2 more participants again. Who will be the champion for the category of social science? Let the drum rolls a little bit longer. Let them be a little bit nervous. The champion goes to Nur Izzah binti Osman from UITM. Therefore, the first runner-up goes to Nur Wazika Madia binti Wazi from UNIZA. And I would like to invite our champion, Nur Izzah binti Osman from UITM, for winning the first place in the social science category for the 3MT's Thesis Competition 2026. Round of applause. I would like to call all the participants to come in front and take pictures with the VIPs. Another round of applause to all our participants. Participants, you may go down the stage. To our professors, please remain on the stage. The ladies and gentlemen, we'll proceed with the next prize presentation ceremony. We have one more award to go, which is the People's Choice Award, which is awarded to the participant who received the highest number of votes from the audience. I wonder, who is the most popular or the presenter that managed to capture the hearts of our audiences today? I know the results, you do not know. Do you want a clue? I think everybody here knows. If I say Kamsahamnida, I think you already know it goes to who. So, the People's Choice Award goes to I Listen, Nur Izzah binti Osman from UITM. A round of applause for our champion, all walking from the top of the stage. Round of applause for Nur Izzah binti Osman from UITM and I Listen. Congratulations to Nur Izzah. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, as a token of our sincere appreciation, we would like to invite Professor Dr. Azlan Abdul Aziz, our co-organizer partner from USM, to receive a small memento in recognition of their invaluable support, dedication, and contribution to the success of this competition. Ladies and gentlemen, gratitude to our Vice Chancellor of Academic and International, Professor Dato Dr. Nik Salidah Sohaila Nik Saleh, and Professor Dr. Azlan Abdul Aziz with Dr. Nur Fazila Zulkifli for giving out the prizes today. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated as we are going to watch the finalists, the champions provide another one more final presentation of their 3 minutes thesis competition. We are going to invite the champion from the Science, Engineering and Technology category to give out her presentation. Nur Nabila binti Zulkifli from UKM.
Testing. Hello everyone. So the mood's kind of different now. I can loosen up a bit. Thank you. Okay. Oh really? Yeah, I haven't finished that. Thank you so much. Okay, imagine one morning you wake up with a blocked nose. You got sinusitis. It would be annoying, isn't it? But what if I told you that same sinus tucked behind your cheek could solve a death mystery? Let's play detective together. In disasters such as plane crash, earthquake, and tsunamis, produce dead bodies that are beyond recognition. Face vanished, fingerprints gone. How do we restore their lost identity? In forensic dentistry, we match the teeth of the victims to their dental history records. It seems like the Prince Charming finds Cinderella when she fits the glass slipper. So, the problem is when the teeth cannot give us enough information about the victim's identity. In extreme cases, the teeth could be insufficient, unavailable, or damaged. Identification becomes difficult and impossible. We need something more. To tackle this problem, my research looked deeper than the teeth into the sinus, 2 hollow spaces hidden inside your cheekbone. I measured the sinus on 3-dimensional radiograph. I measured them in length, height, width, and volume on 3-dimensional radiograph CBCT. But I also analyzed them carefully like a skilled detective, like in CSI, to uncover its unique features. And here's what I found. From the sinus, I can tell whether a person is a male or a female. Other than sex, I can use it for age estimation. I can measure the sinus, generate a formula, and estimate your age. That would be interesting. However, I did not stop there. I extended my research beyond Malaysia to Indonesia. And the findings reveal there are significant differences in the sinus height and volume between these populations. This proves that we might share the same root and look similar on the outside, but totally different on the sinus inside. More than these scientific findings, my research contributes enormously towards restoring identity, justice, and humanity in line with SDG 16. After all, people say the dead don't speak. However, through science, the science does. Remember, here lies your identity that I am trying to protect. Two signers, one positive match. Such a match could be a match made in heaven. Thank you.
Round of applause again. No questions from the judges this time. Okay, alright. So we're waiting for our next, our champion from the social science category. She is currently taking a flight from Korea. She has arrived. I'll call upon Nur Izzah binti Osman from UITM.
Let's ikut 3 minit kan? 3 minit juga. Allah. Okay, don't worry, Dato'. I won't take you this time. But anyway, before I start, Dr. Chia, is your name Dr. Chia, yeah? I just want to say you look super gorgeous. So stylish. You know where else we can find stylish people like you? Milan, Italy. Have you been to Milan? Too bad. A Milano ti innamorerai di tutta la moda. Just want to show off. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever tried learning a new language and felt so confident about it until a real person starts talking? Well, let me share you my story. You see, I used to be so obsessed with K-dramas that I decided to learn Korean just because of it. But guess what, Doctor? Every time I tried to turn off the subtitles, I understood nothing. The only thing I could hear was just, "Araso, what?" That's it. And do you know that is exactly what happens to many foreigners who are trying to learn new language, including our beloved language, Bahasa Melayu? Ladies and gentlemen, our country is the home to more than 3.5 million foreigners. That's a lot. But sadly, according to Untitled, only less than 20% are fluent in Bahasa Melayu, such a small percentage, yeah? But what's surprising here is that according to our national linguist, Asma Haji Omar, Bahasa Melayu is considered to be one of the easiest languages to learn. So if language is not the problem, what is it then? In 2022, Osman and Abdul Rabu finally figured that the issue was not the language, it was actually listening fluency. So what is listening fluency? Listening fluency refers to the ability to understand spoken language in real time, naturally. But the problem with us Malaysians is that when we speak fast. We shorten words. Tidak becomes tak. Ya becomes Macam mana becomes guana. So this raises an important question here. How can these learners improve their listening fluency when exposed to real life fast-paced Bahasa Melayu? So to answer that, I developed an app called I Listen. There's no slide. I Listen was designed based on 7 prominent theories. And I tested this app for 5 weeks. Again, with real learners using them, yeah? So they could use this app anytime, anywhere they wanted. The only thing they needed to do was just to press start and start listening to any real life situations they wanted to hear. For example, situations at the local warung. So they could hear phrases like, "Abang, dia tarik satu ikat tepi. Masuk buku, bulan depan bayar." Okay. So, they could play, pause, slow it down, or even listen to it 10 times. Nobody's going to judge anyway. But guess what? After 5 weeks, when we conducted interviews with them, they reported that they finally became more confident and they could speak longer. So I Listen finally helps them to understand what they hear around them. And when they understand, they feel more connected, more included, and most importantly, they feel more at home. So that's the impact of I Listen. I listen, hear the language, feel at home. My name is Izzah Osman. Assalamualaikum.
Round of applause to Nur Izzah binti Osman. As we come to the end of today's program, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to our distinguished judges for their valuable time and expertise. Our heartfelt thanks also goes to our organizing committee, technical teams, lecturers, participants, and every members of the audience for making today's event a success. Congratulations once again to all participants. Your passions for research and your ability to communicate complex ideas to the general audience are truly commendable. With that, the 3-minute thesis competition 2026 officially comes to a close. Thank you to all of you. Have a pleasant day and a safe journey home. For the champions, they will be representing Malaysia in the National 3MT competition for the Pacific Asia in Australia. May we meet again for the 3MT competition 2027 with our new host from UTM. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, please free and have our lunch.